Hello everyone and welcome back to our channel. You know that moment when grief turns into something dangerous? Yeah, Coronation Street just went there. And it's honestly chilling. So here's what went down. After the devastating loss of her mother, Betsy completely unravels. What starts as heartbreak slowly twists into rage. And before anyone can stop it, she lashes out in a brutal attack on Becky, leaving the entire street shaken to its core. Alright, let's really get into this, because this storyline doesn't just hit, it hurts. From the very beginning, you can feel that heavy emotional cloud hanging over everything. Betsy loses her mother, and it's not just sadness, it's like her entire world collapses overnight. You can almost picture her trying to keep it together in front of people, forcing those brave smiles, pretending she's okay. But deep down, she's anything but okay. And that's the thing. Grief like that doesn't just sit quietly, it grows, it twists, it starts asking questions that don't have easy answers. Why did this happen? Could it have been prevented? And slowly, almost without her realizing it, Betsy starts looking for someone to blame. That pain needs somewhere to go, and unfortunately, it lands on Becky. Now, whether it's because of past arguments, misunderstandings, or something Becky may have said or done before, Betsy becomes convinced that Becky is somehow responsible, and once that idea takes root, it just spreads like wildfire in her mind. You can literally feel the shift in her behavior. What starts as small turns into cold looks, then open hostility, and before you know it, something much darker is building. Meanwhile, Becky has no idea how deep this resentment goes. She might sense that something's off, sure, but she's not expecting this. Maybe she's dealing with her own guilt or confusion about the situation. Maybe she thinks things can be talked through, but she's completely unprepared for what's coming. And then it happens. The confrontation explodes out of nowhere, but at the same time, it feels like it's been building forever. Betsy just snaps. All that bottled up grief, anger, confusion, it comes pouring out in the worst possible way. The attack is sudden, intense, and honestly hard to watch. It's not just physical, it's emotional chaos spilling over into something violent and uncontrollable. Becky is completely blindsided. She doesn't even get a chance to properly defend herself. And the people around them, total panic. You have got shouting, people rushing in, trying to pull Betsy away. It's messy, frightening, and way too real. But what really hits is what comes after. Because once that moment passes, everything changes. The shock ripples through Weatherfield like a wave. People are talking, reacting, picking sides, and Betsy, she's left standing there, no longer just a grieving daughter, but someone who crossed a line she can't uncross. You can almost see the emotions hitting her all at once. Regret, confusion, maybe even a part of her still trying to justify what she did. And that's what makes it so complicated. She's not just dealing with grief anymore. She's dealing with the consequences of her actions, legally and emotionally. And Becky, she's left to pick up the pieces. Physically hurt, yes, but emotionally, even worse. Imagine being attacked like that by someone you know, someone whose pain you might even understand. She's shaken, angry, scared, but also determined. Determined to stand up for herself, to seek justice, and to figure out how to move forward after something so traumatic. And the community, oh, they're divided. Some people look at Betsy and see a broken girl who lost her mother and snapped under the pressure. Others, they're not having it. For them, there's no excuse. Grief or not, violence is violence. And that tension, it spreads. Friendships get strained, loyalties are tested. Everyone's forced to ask themselves the same uncomfortable question. How far is too far? As the days go on, things don't settle. They get even more complicated. There is talk of consequences, possibly even legal actions. Betsy has to face people, face herself, and figure out what comes next. And Becky has to decide, does she forgive or does she fight? At its core, this whole storyline feels painfully human. One tragic loss sets off a chain reaction that affects everyone. And just like that, lives are changed forever. What makes this storyline so powerful is how real it feels. It's not just about a shocking attack, it's about what grief can do to a person when it's life unchecked. It shows how quickly someone can go from being a victim of tragedy to causing harm themselves, and honestly doesn't give us easy answers. There is no clear good guy or bad guy here. Betsy is hurting, but she also did something terrible. Becky is a victim, but she's also tangled up in the emotional complexity of the situation. The ripple effect is huge. Relationships crack, trust disappears, and the entire community is forced to deal with the aftermath. It's one of those storylines that doesn't just end when the episode does, it lingers. I'm not gonna lie, this one really got to me. Because you can feel Betsy's pain, but at the same time, you are sitting there like, no, this isn't the way. It's frustrating, it's heartbreaking, and it's uncomfortable in the best way possible. And Becky, I genuinely felt for her. That kind of betrayal and violence, it sticks with you. I actually think her side of the story might become even more powerful as things move forward. What I really appreciate is that the show didn't try to sugarcoat anything. They leaned into the messiness of human emotion, and that's what made it hit so hard. So yeah, this storyline is intense, emotional, and honestly unforgettable. One moment of loss turned into a chain reaction that's going to affect everyone for a long time. And I don't think we have even seen the full fallout yet. But now I want to hear from you. Do you think Betsy deserves sympathy after what she did? Or should she face full consequences no matter what? And what about Becky? Should she forgive? Or is that line permanently crossed? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's talk about it. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like, subscribe and stick around. Because trust me, the drama is only getting started.